Welcome back to Sportsbook Review. The NBA season starts exactly 2 weeks from tonight, and it is once again time to start taking a look at some of the futures available to you on the market right now. And Ladbrokes Sportsbook just came out with their odds for all 30 teams to make the playoffs, and there's 3 all-Eastern Conference teams here that I'm taking a look at that could potentially have some really nice value. And I'm potentially looking at, I think, the 7th and 8th seed here in the Eastern Conference with these picks, which means that I think there are at least 6 locks to make the playoffs here, but there's one team close, so we'll get to at the end I think will surprise you, but a team that made the playoffs last season in the East, and I think will be back there this year, is the Boston Celtics at minus 130. I think that's not quite enough chalk for me to lay off the Boston Celtics, because I think as long as they stay healthy, and they're going to have a 10-11 man rotation, I think, this season, that will really be a huge lift to them down the stretch of the season when a lot of teams that only have 7 or 8 man rotations are getting into March, and the Celtics are still running strong with all the young guys that they have playing most of them less than 36 minutes a game as well. So I think the Boston Celtics will definitely be there in the end as one of the final 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference at minus 130. Next up, I think the other team that's going to be back there with him is the Indiana Pacers. They're a little bit higher of an underdog here at plus 110 to make the playoffs, but still very good value for a team that's getting their best player back in Paul George and added Monte Ellis. That's about 40 plus more points per game than they had last season coming to them here in this season. And even though got rid of their bigs, I think it's going to make them a little lighter, a little faster, possibly a little bit more dangerous in transition than they have been over the past couple of years. So I think the Pacers will sneak into the playoffs at plus 110 as well. And finally, that means that one of the teams from last year probably going to have to be knocked out as well, and I think that's going to be the Washington Wizards. Surprisingly enough, this is a bit of a stretch play here. Definitely an underdog play at plus 400. However, the Washington Wizards are really not built that well, I think, to compete in the new NBA with their big men and how they are constructed. I love their 1 through 3s with John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Otto Porter. However, Nene looks like he's going to come off the bench this season as a backup center, probably long overdue as well. Marcin Gortat, relatively mobile, but still think he's probably going to have some difficulties here defending in the Eastern Conference here against some of these centers as well, especially against some of the centers in that conference, in that division, like Al Horford, Nikola Vucevic as well. So the Washington Wizards scare me just a little bit. If Bradley Beal's banged up again for a long stretch of time, God forbid John Wall goes out, or they lose some of their other depth, like Porter, for instance, Gortat as well. I think one injury could really derail this team. That's just a little bit too much risk to take for me for them to make the playoffs. So I think no, actually at plus 400 could be the best play in regards to the Wizards this season. That'll do it for your NBA look at some of the teams to make the playoffs here and their odds from Ladbrokes Sportsbook. Best of luck to you on those two. Keep an eye out for some of our opening night NBA picks coming out here within just about 10 days as well. But until then, for Sportsbook Review, I'm Jordan Sharp.